What's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
How we
How are
doing?
you? Living the
We're
dream,
doing, man.
man.
We're doing.
Yep.
Where's our boy Kyle?
I think we're gonna introduce him to get him on. I think George is gonna make us introduce him and say, "Look at the stud that we brought on this time."
I mean,
So
he needs no introduction. Everybody knows who Kyle is.
they do. They
What's
sure do.
Precision sales
up?
guy. How you doing, Kyle?
Brr, 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 brr.
Yeah. Where's that at? Come on
Right,
now, George. Slacking. But
Man,
Kyle, how the heck you doing, man?
living the dream, brother. Living the dream. Yeah.
Now
Everybody's working their butts off, huh? Kyle, you're out in the field selling or what?
Out in the field selling, brother.
let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Kyle?
first-hand experience.
Kyle, you out there rocking?
You know what? I haven't ran a lead in a couple days. I've been busy with some other stuff. So
All
no
right.
sales for me the last couple days, but before
Things are
that,
good or what?
oh yeah, things are rocking. I've got my team doing it, and I got other things. So
Yeah, I know you're a busy guy. Well,
yeah,
we brought Kyle on tonight, right? We announced yesterday that he was going to be a guest. He's a regular. And when Kyle's on, we talk sales. And that's the heartbeat of a business. Everybody wants to talk about it and learn about it. We could go on forever, right? There's so many topics. What did we discuss on what we wanted to do tonight?
Everything.
Yeah,
Shut up and listen.
I mean,
that's
I
yeah.
ran it through Chat GPT just for giggles, and I got a list of the biggest mistakes contractors make when they're doing in-home sales. And the list is, I don't want to call it generic. It's stuff we all have heard before, but they're all critical. And I thought it'd be cool to just kind of chop it up, run down the list, and flex on things we want to talk long about, move through things that maybe we don't want to spend too much time on. But what do you guys think? You
Let's
guys
do it
have,
live, man. I love it.
let's do it.
I
Let's
love it.
do it. All right,
Rock
so
and
this is
roll.
Chat GPT 4.0. I mean, it knows me now. It knows the work we do. So a lot of it is actually rain gutter centric. So it was a cool list, and the feedback that was given was interesting enough that I mean we could dive right in. It's very applicable to what we all do here. Number one, selling features instead of solving problems. Talk
Mm.
about this all the time. Why is this? Why is this a critical mistake?
Kyle, you take it first, man.
Well, focusing on product specs and all the other things of specifics of, hey, this is a 5-inch K style and it's going to be crown molding around this and what have you. Obviously, they have you out there because they see an issue. They have, we don't have basements in Texas, but where most people are, y'all do. So they have flooding in their basements. They have water that's not going down to the right downspout. It's overflowing, gutters are clogged, whatever. And you're sitting there trying to tell them about something that they could care less about. You need to find something that really connects with them so that you can close them on an emotional level. Because just talking about things that they know you know things about doesn't help you close it.
Yeah, you said something really important there. Close them on an emotional level, and there are people out there that think that they are a logical buyer. Right? I'm a logical buyer. I only buy if it makes sense, and blah blah blah. And that could be further from the truth. Every single buying decision we make is an emotional decision. All right, whether we buy the candy bar or don't, whether we buy the truck or don't, or what truck we buy, like no, it's an emotional decision at the end of the day. Right? There's
How
no
many
there's no real
times?
logic.
No, I mean, how many times have you literally looked at something, like say a new TV, for example, and you're like, how many gutter jobs do I have to do to buy that TV?
Right.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, psychologically they say people gravitate to what makes them feel good, and they avoid what makes them feel bad.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
the decision in sales for a consumer is something that they're going to walk away right after the decision and feel good about. So that's something you got to play into. But selling features, to be specific to this point made, selling features, and somebody just hit on it a second ago. I remember when I was younger, when I first got going, you want to so badly impress the homeowner that you're an expert, right? That you know everything, and you go into this regurgitation of, let me be technical and show you what I know and flex on you and assume authority. But it's not specific to why they called you, right? You're not
Right.
focusing on the problem. You're just kind of rattling off and going on to off on a
You're
tangent.
flexing.
Yeah, just to kind of say, look, I just want to let you know I know my stuff. They don't care. Like their time is valuable. They just
Right.
want to get right to it. So I think the key word in this one, solving problems, use that word. So what is the problem here? Why am I here? What's the pain point? And you actually bring it up in their brain like, oh, pain point. Yeah, I do have a problem. Yeah, let's talk about that. So, you know, focusing on product specs, getting way too deep in the weeds on the products at hand versus discussing what they want to say, letting them talk about why they called, what made them call. Is the rain falling off the roof and dropping on their head at the front door? What is the problem?
Well, I have a very, very good soft way of figuring that out. The very first thing I do when I get there is, hi, I'm Kyle with Texas Gutter Guys. Very nice to meet y'all. And then I ask them how long they've lived in their house. If they say we've been here for 6 weeks, okay, so what got y'all to call us today? And they go, well, we realize there's no gutters on the left, the right, or the back. It's only over the front door. Okay, great. So you're seeing some erosion, and you want to protect your largest investment of your life, right? And they go, yeah. If they tell me that they've lived there for 20 years, I'll say, what made you call us today?
Right. That's good.
And they'll say, well, we had our foundation redone and we need to protect our foundation because, oh my gosh, was that expensive? It's like, yeah, gutters are a hell of a lot less expensive than foundation repair.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Most people have like a pick list of things they want to work on their house, and they systematically work through it, husband and wife, and they pick away at that list. And if you're up, now it's gutter time, they need it. And there's a reason why they called because it's time, and you just have to identify that and flush that out. Let's
For
move.
sure.
Let's move on. Talking too much. Number two, talking too much. Killer one. Biggest problem I see, especially rookies. I did it. Admittedly, I did it. And you know what's happening when their eyes roll back in their head, or they give you signals that they don't give a shit. You're talking too much, buddy. Let's just get to it.
And you talk yourself out of a close.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the talk strategy is this, right? It's talk enough to get them talking and then shut up. Say enough to engage them and get them to start spilling the beans, and shut your mouth and listen and let them go forever. What do you
That's
think
it.
on that, Kyle?
So that's 100% true. What I typically do to get them talking is I ask questions the entire time I'm there. I will ask a question, get them talking, and I will basically lead them to the answer that I want them to say. Like, where do you think this water's falling right here? And they'll go, well, it's right above the air conditioner. Do you think that's good for your air conditioner? And ask them questions that they answer the way that you would explain it. Because at the end of the day, no matter if you're dressed for success or you're wearing your ratty clothes because you've been installing all day, which we've all been there. I installed yesterday and I was nasty. I always let them tell me what they need because you're still a greasy salesman to them. They think that you're this city slicker guy that's trying to sell them a car in the 70s, and they're just trying to do anything they can to make a sale. You get them talking, they don't trust you. They trust themselves. Right. So have them sell themselves.
That's it.
That's good. For you guys that are math minded, if you see things in numbers, the numbers behind the percentage on how much talking you should do versus the homeowner is 70-30. 70% of the time the homeowner should talk, you should only talk 30%.
So
be mindful and hit that governor and that brake if you're running your mouth too much.
they're going to give you
comments how many people actually talk more than the customer. I'd like to see in the comments, like, hey, tell us, be honest, because that's how we learn, right, guys? Is we recognize when we didn't do something perfect, and we try to perfect it.
When you let the customer talk, they're actually going to give you the roadmap to closing them right then.
That's it, right there, brother.
That's it. If you, they will tell you everything that you need to show them to get the deal right then. But if you are just too busy going, right, you're never going to get the keys, right?
No.
So
you're going to talk yourself right out of that close.
That's right.
You can watch it happen too. It's like slow motion.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yep. That's
All
it.
right. Number 3, not building trust first, or not building trust at all. Not
Yeah.
building trust, major critical flaw. Let's talk about that. Colin, what's your definition of trust in a sales situation?
Mm. My definition of trust, God, I would say that my definition of trust is going to be when the customer actually believes what I'm saying. Going back to what Kyle just said, uh, a lot of times I call it the resistance wall. You show up and there's a resistance wall. And so I have all these different things I do before I show up to break down the building of that resistance wall. But um, the goal is to get them to actually believe kind of what you're saying and not feel like you're just sleazeball used car salesman from the 70s with slick backed hair, right? It's to relate to them. So what I do, my trick to building that trust really quick is I'm constantly looking for a way that I can relate to them, whether it's the Corvette in the driveway or the team flag flying or whatever, right? I can play both sides of the fence
It's the
politically.
Prius.
So, yeah, it's the Prius, right?
That's
Whatever,
it.
you
Yeah.
know.
Been thinking about
Um,
getting one of those, man. How do you like it?
right, exactly.
Find
They
commonality. Make it.
Yeah,
right,
commonalities are critical, right? So if you could find something that you both agree on or like, or people in common, you got to have that like warm up chat where you're kind of trying to find connections, which you do when you meet strangers, right? In a
right,
social setting, hey, so do you know this guy, that guy? That stuff's critical. Like Kyle says, doormats. If there's a college logo or a professional sports team, or they're wearing a hat, that's critical. But also, the trust factor is, I've become this like savant with reading body language. And in the beginning, when you first start talking to a lot of people, their guard is way up, and they're, you know, Kyle, we talked about it with the arms crossed, and you're cold and you're stiff. They don't know where you're going with this. They don't know if you're going to be a greasy sales guy. They don't know where you're going to take this. They don't know if you're going to start telling them lies. So they're going to sit back and try to read you to see if you're an honest person, if you're intelligent and you know your stuff, and if you're being just genuine. You're guiding them in a professional, honest manner. If you start showing them signs of being a sleazeball, the guard goes way up. They mentally check out and they're all set. But if you can kind of knock these walls down, that you're likable, that's the other thing. People buy from people they like, or people
Yeah.
they see themselves hanging out with. So if you could come across as calm, relaxed, very comfortable in your skin, a likable guy, like, oh, I could have a beer with this guy, or I would introduce this guy to my daughter. If you're that type of person, you're gonna pierce all barriers, and you're gonna get a long way.
we got to be careful
Know,
though. Oh,
like, and trust.
Careful
People
with what?
buy.
yeah,
People
we
buy from people they know, like, and trust. Sorry, Colin.
You're good. You're good. No, and you kind of teed it up even more, right? Um, the know, like, and trust. You don't want to mistake people liking you for trusting you. All
True.
right. So often, this is something I fight with my sales reps pretty consistently. They show up and they're the good guy. Everybody loves them, right? Oh, they solved all the problems, but they didn't buy from you. Like, you were just the nice guy, and you bought the lie from the homeowner that we're buddies. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna go golfing together. All this fun stuff, and they wimped out when it came to ask for the sale.
Yeah.
And they found the girl at the bar. They've been courting her all night, like she's ready, and they're just like, all right, see ya, and don't get her number, don't ask her to come home, none of that stuff, right? Just like,
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah.
And
Good
like,
talking to you.
yeah, that's right. If she wants me, she'll find me on Facebook, right? Like, no, you would never do that, right? And so we do
Yeah.
that with our sales because we want to be the nice guy, and it's like,
Yeah.
nope, we gotta be able to ask for the deal still.
Well,
Always be
we'll
close.
get into that, further on down the list, where you got to go in for the kill, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
critical element. That's why you're there. Let's face
Right.
it. They have a need, and you are the guy that could deliver it. You got to close it. You got to get in and get it.
That's
If you
right.
don't ask for the sale, somebody else is.
That's right. I had a fellow one time. This was I sold cars when I was 19, and he
I
said
sold
before.
cars.
Did you? Let's
Yeah.
go. That's right. I did it for like 4 months. I crushed at it, but I hated the people I worked with, and so I got out of it.
Boring.
But
So boring.
yeah, but one of my managers was like, Colin, before you talk any price, you should be like, without a shadow of a doubt, know that you could ask this customer to lend you $10 and they'd say yes. And that's just kind of stuck with me. Like,
That's a good
that's when you
analogy.
know that they trust you. What's
Ooh,
that?
I like
I
that.
like that. It's a great,
I
Yeah,
like I
great
like
little
that.
analogy to keep,
That's
right.
fun.
I know.
You know what's funny about salespeople is salespeople have surrounded themselves with salespeople their whole life, and other people say it, and there's all these sales books. But if you read one sales book, you can see like 3 other sales books in that sales book because it's all the stuff that they took from
yeah, it's all
one
built
and
on the
put into their
last.
own.
Totally.
Yeah, if you were the one that did it recently, it's your idea.
That's right.
I did something similar. So where I used to work, retention was a big deal, and retaining your actual customers. So whenever we would sell a big job, I'd pull $20 out of my pocket and be like, "Look, I don't like that I sold this at exactly $10,000. So here's $20 cash. So basically, you're going to pay the 10, but you're only paying 99.80." And they'd go, "Oh, well, okay." And then you're like, "That dude's not that guy's not going to cancel his install. He's got my $20."
That's a good one, man. That's intelligent. Want my
That's
$20
hilarious.
back, dude?
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Coming
Come
for
knock
that
on the door.
20.
Hey, dude, you canceled. Give me my $20.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
That's hilarious.
Next one on the list: selling without using visual aids of any sort. A lot of people just sell verbally, right? Critical mistake. Why? Dimensionality, right? You got to have as many dimensions to you in your sales presentation. Plus, a lot of people just don't learn, they don't absorb without a visual cue. They need to see the product. They need photos of other jobs. They need something to whether you're showing them how the hangers get installed or whatever it is, the cover, how that fits. They need to see it. A lot of people need to see it. The guy that's showing them that versus you just talking about it is going to smoke you every time. What do you guys think about that one?
Who has samples in their truck?
Of course. How do you not? Some guys don't. Some guys really
What
don't.
What do you have in your truck?
Me?
What do you carry?
Oh,
Yeah.
so I don't sell gutter anymore here, but when I did, we have like a foam kit, with cutouts, and
Mhm.
every profile we sell is in there, wrapped in plastic. So I'm like super anal about the littlest scratch in the paint. Drives me crazy. How are you going to hand that to the homeowner? Not a little shard on the a sharp edge or anything.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be perfect,
Yeah.
perfectly cut segments of cover that fit exactly that short piece of gutter. It's got to be perfect. It's got to snap right in. One of them's not shorter or longer than the other. They just everything is married perfectly. And even the presentation of you pulling that kit out, right? Oh, let me go get the
Mhm.
kit. The box is perfect. Everything about it is perfect.
Logoed.
Logo on it, big
Yeah.
sticker. I have stickers all over the place in our operation here. But the minute the box would get wet or dented or screwed up or scuffed, throw it out. New one. It's
Yeah.
like that whole presentation. It's like in the movies when they open the box and the gold is in there and it's sparkling
Pulp
on their
Fiction.
face. Like you got to go for the big reveal.
I'd like to see everybody's sample boxes in the comments. They should definitely take pictures of their sample boxes.
Some
Don't
guys
be
have
shy.
nice
Show
ones.
us what you got. Let's see it.
Right.
It's like I want to see somebody with a Pulp Fiction, where
Yeah,
it's like
that's
the
what I'm talking
light's so
about.
bright you don't even know
Ooh.
what's in there.
What
We
do you
just
say?
had a
What do you say to Vincent? He goes, "Are we good?" He's like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, we're good." Get
we
out of
just had a good comment. A guy said, "Make an outside corner instead of a straight piece, especially if
Yeah,
you do hand
we
tabs."
that's what we have. We have an outside and inside, but we do miter strips in Austin.
All right.
So, I mean,
I'm
but
not seeing any
that's going to be
comments.
different than everybody else. You're going to differentiate yourself, not necessarily based on what type of miter, but everybody else is going to just show a straight piece. I
Yeah,
really like that. I think that's brilliant.
yeah. Another thing too is I carry end caps for for dimension. So I got a 5-inch and a 6-inch end cap in my truck. So I can show customers how that 6-inch profile is going to be so much bigger than the 5-inch and cover up more
Yeah.
of the fascia and look more like crown molding versus a 5-inch gutter where it just looks like a gutter on your house.
So actually, the only image I put on a quotation from my desk, this is what I choose to use when I'm selling 6-inch K style, is exactly that. It's a 5-inch and a 6-inch end cap side by side. One's labeled 5-inch, and one says oversized 6-inch K style, and that sells it. The
Yeah.
visual of the end caps, that's it. You understand how much bigger that gutter is from that
Right.
visual.
Yeah. It can
That's
handle
pretty sweet.
40% more volume of water than a 5-inch gutter.
But even beyond samples, an iPad with photos, great job photos, if you're organized enough to make a black folder and an eggshell folder or a half round folder or a copper folder, you could so quickly get into that and demo exactly what you do and say, you flip through a number of jobs. It's like, obviously I do this all the time. It's very impressive,
So I do it with an iPad. I know people that do it pen and paper. I do it with an iPad specifically so I can show photos of other jobs we've done. But the first thing that I do when I sit down with a customer is I always ask them where to sit, and then I tell them where to sit because you gotta have your dominance because you don't want to play ping pong. Like I think we've talked about that on other
Then I
podcasts.
pee on their couch.
Yeah, right. Then I piss on their couch. I ask for a glass of water, no ice. If they bring me ice, they're not listening.
Yeah.
So I show them their drawing. I literally flip around my drawing and I say, this is what a bird sees when it flies over your house. This is where the downspouts are going. This is the front part of your house. This is the back part of your house, right, left. This is where putting the downspouts here where we talked about so that it shows them that I actually care enough what they said to put it on paper and show them and explain it to them so that right off the bat, they know that I care about their input.
It's important. It's important. And you nailed it, right? You absorbed it. You heard what they had to say and you got it right. You regurgitated it in the diagram and you got it right.
Yeah.
Very, very critical. Downspout locations, that's a big mistake on a lot of installs is don't pay attention, put it where you want, put the wrong swing at the bottom, no extension, or you put one on and they didn't want it. Like you got to nail it. You got to have
the biggest callback that you get is it needs to be switched to an A or switched to a B on the bottom, right? Or that kick out. I wish it was a foot longer. It's like, oh man,
yeah, really? I got to go all the way back there for that.
Yeah, right.
Oh no, the worst one is when you sell it to them 2 months earlier and they wanted it a BBA, and then all of a sudden they wanted an AAA after you've done the install. Really?
That is bad.
Yeah. That's a big problem.
Yeah,
it's a better problem now too.
I've actually had customers autograph their drawing.
Yep.
Like, hey, if I know that they might be difficult and it's a partial job, especially, I'm going to have them sign the drawing and tell them that I do that every time. And hey guys, you signed the drawing. I explained it to you and you said that you understood what I was saying. This is what we agreed to.
Anytime we do something abnormal, that's what we do. Or like you said, if somebody's really particular, I had a fella stick me for $3,000 back, I don't know, probably 5 years ago. It was a $6,000 job. And he wanted the downspout, big barn, and then added a lean-to just in the middle of it. Ugh. And he wanted an outlet with an elbow just onto the lean-to, right? So no downspouts coming off the big barn above. And then I was like, that's not how I do it. And he's like, that's how I want it done. If you want the job, that's how you're going to do it. All right. And we'll do it that way, man. And then one downspout on his little lean-to. And of course, right, that was why he didn't pay me, because that's hack work, right? That's not what somebody would do. And I'm like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill you. And I drive by this house all the time, and this dude has like a whole rap sheet for like, his brother is high up at Super 8, and so he used to build some of them and he ran some of them, and he's been like accused of forcing his assistants to do things with them in order to keep their job and stuff. Like
one of those guys.
A real dirtbag dude. But
Richard,
he's only up here for like 3 or 4 months, and he leaves all this crap sitting out. And I'm like, that trailer is worth about $3,000. The intrusive thoughts, right? They're coming in, but I haven't stolen anything from him.
You know what that is, Colin? It's a constant reminder
That's
to
right.
do things the way that you do things only. I
Yeah,
tell
that's it.
customers all the time, they're like, well, I want you to do this. And I tell them, I go, I can appreciate that you want it to be here, but the better place to put it would be over here.
well,
And
you know what happens is Uncle Eddie comes over. He tells you to do it that way. You do it the way he wants, and then
Yeah.
Uncle Eddie comes over for Thanksgiving, and Uncle Eddie knows everything, and he's like, "What the hell do they do it like that for? That's wrong."
Right.
Then
I'm
he calls
thinking
you and goes,
Cousin
"Oh, I
Eddie.
talked to Uncle Eddie, and Uncle Eddie says this is garbage." It's like I told you not to do it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the
Cousin,
sign off, and you're good.
Yep.
Right?
shitter's full, Cousin
Shitter's
Eddie.
full, Uncle Eddie. All right.
Yeah, visual aids are great. I think we should go to the other one. I love this.
We've got, just so you guys know, inside of the comments, we've had a handful of people like, holy crap, I never thought to do that. Or Eric Johnson, he's a handful of years into business and crushing it. But he's like, I don't meet 85% of my clients I don't even meet with. So I'm going to put this together and start doing this. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Huge,
Eric,
huge.
step your game up, son. Let's go.
Bro. So Eric, right? Is that what you said his name
Yeah,
was?
Eric. Yep.
Eric, you will close 50% more people if you step in front of them and they get to meet you, know, like, and trust you. 100%, dude.
And you can charge them 50% more and still charge that, or and still close that much.
You don't need to sell on price anymore. Sell on knowledge, expertise, education. Right. It's the best.
Very true. All right, number 5, rushing to the quote. A lot of guys don't take the proper steps in the sales process. Warm up, consult, walk around the house and assess. They just kind of rush right to it. Or I do hear a lot of guys are estimating remote and then bring the quote to the house if they even go to the house and just kind of here you go. Like you can't even sell that way because the human brain needs to be warmed up and educated and walk through all these subconscious decisions on why it's you, how it's going to go, and then let's talk about the price. So rushing the process is a critical mistake. Kyle, you want to talk about the steps, the proper steps in the sales cycle?
Yes. So I have kind of an analogy-ish kind of story that I've told customers before. Because how many times have we all gone to a house? No, I just want a price. Just give me a price. I don't need to hear about it. Just give me a price. You can tell them like, well, I got a car for sale. Do you want it? No. Really? It's only $2,000. Do you want it? No. Well, you missed out. It was a Ferrari. Like, you got to know what you're buying. Your customer needs to know what they're buying. You can't just throw prices at them. Selling on price is what we're trying to help everybody get away from. I don't sell on price at Texas Gutter Guys. People email me all the time. Hey, can you do better? No. My price is dictated by the quality and the knowledge and expertise, and also our customer service on the front end, back end, and during installation.
My favorite rebuttal to that, Kyle, when they say, can you do better? It's like, hey, I'm just curious. Why are you asking me for a better price? Yeah. Was there something I did better than the cheap price that you got that you'd rather use my services?
Oh, I love that.
Well, yeah, I just like blah, blah, blah. Like, I love that you showed me this and this and this. And it's like, oh, so you would expect to probably pay a little bit more for that, right?
I love it. That's what I do too, brother.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's like I've had people go as far as to email me and saying, hey, can you match this price? And I said, why are you asking me to match a price? And he goes, well, their price is $1,000 less than yours, but I want it the way you do it. And I said, how about you tell them to match my quality?
Right.
Exactly. Are you asking them to match my quality for that price? Because they're not.
The thing that drives me crazy is you don't walk into a retail store, right, to buy a sweater or to buy a Starbucks coffee or a McDonald's hamburger and negotiate the price. Can you do better? Like, you don't do that. It's just assume that that's the price and you pay it.
We should try that. Go into a Starbucks and show McDonald's menu.
Taco Bell. I've negotiated at Taco Bell. I'm like, is your food really worth this $1.08? No, so as far as my process, the way that we go about it, we don't talk pricing before we measure. We don't allow the customer either. If somebody says, "Oh, I have you're like, if you have a discount, hold on to it till after I give you my price." There's so many companies out there that will take your discount, fluff their numbers, and then give it to you off. We are a transparent company, and if you served for our country, we're going to give you an actual discount off the price. We're not going to talk numbers until after I explain to you how we do things, our process, the materials we use. In Texas, we don't have to have insurance, so I always hit that home. I mean, there's no trades licensing here. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no anything really. So there's no code for gutters. It can be done anyway. You can have hangers 15 feet apart. If you pick the wrong contractor, you pick the wrong contractor. So I go through my entire process, and then we talk about the total number.
Yeah.
And after that, I let it sit. Don't say anything. Just be quiet.
Yeah.
It's another one of those quiet moments. It's awkward. It's weird. Let's try it. Do you want to do it on the podcast? Let's see how long we can go.
First guy to talk loses.
A lot of people crap their
Colin.
pants. Yep, I'm out. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry guys.
Well, it makes people nervous, and that is a
Yeah.
positive thing. When
It is.
you clam up, the homeowner gets nervous. They don't know what to say, and they're uneasy, and they're actually motivated and almost pushed for the yes. They don't want to disappoint, right? So so many of you guys talk your way out of the sale. Oh, just think about it. You just get back to me.
I'll email
follow
it
up in a
over to
couple
you.
days.
Oh, don't ever say that word. Frank, don't ever say think. Think about it and call me back, because then that's going to preemptively make the customer think about it, or they're going to start thinking about it.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. How do you feel about this? When we do the gutters on your house, which color did you want us to use? Automatically assuming the sale when you're talking to them.
Yes, assumptive statements. Do you want us to? We can get it. What day next week works for you? Start saying things that close it. Sharp angle closes. It's assumed you're getting it. Now it's just, when am I doing it? Are you going to write a check today, or do you want to pay by credit card? Just start assuming it's happening. But you could say it in a way where you don't sound like a slime ball.
That's it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's. I've found in my career, you can almost get away with saying anything with a smile on your face.
You can. I mean, with that smile, buddy.
This is the beautification, bro. IMAC beautification. I'm way more haggard in person, bro.
Nah.
That's funny. I want to go back to like the original question. And
Yeah.
Frank, you mentioned you would show up and the customer's always like, I don't want to hear it, just email it. Or maybe Kyle said that. One of you guys did. I don't want to go through anything, just email it over to me. And so many tradesmen get stuck right there. Like, okay, yep. And they just like they give over the keys to the kingdom. Like, okay, all right, I'm a big pussy. All right. Like,
we don't set appointments in my office on any side of my business unless somebody's going to be present. We'll do a one-legger. If one of them are home, we'll set it. But if they say no, just go by, we do not set the appointment. We don't set the call.
Us neither.
And they watch how quickly they figure out how to open up their schedule. These, Mr. Important, he finds a way to get home on XYZ day. But when you go, you better be on time, and you better have your A game on, because he's a little twisted about it. But those are the guys that actually buy. Yep. They're busy for a reason. They're making money.
You ready for this knowledge bomb, Frank?
Shoot.
My insurance does not allow me to step foot on your property without a homeowner present.
That's a good one.
That is good.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Another rebuttal on pricing, and I know now we're bouncing all over the place, is to lean on software. Hey, we every year, don't say January, every year in February, new price lists come out. We go into our CRM, we set all our pricing up, and those are our numbers. I can't change it. It's set, it's fixed. We have a markup on that, and there is no price adjustment. Our price is our price.
Yeah.
Every year it changes. And then what I'll do too is early in the year, I'll say, we haven't adjusted the prices yet, but they're about to change. It's about to get more expensive. They haven't been reset yet. Let's go. There's no discount. It's only going to get more expensive for you.
There's something to be said about commodities, and aluminum is a commodity, right?
That's right.
I give a 30-day price, and I give a 3-day discount. If you say yes within 3 days, it's more of a thank you for keeping my installers busy. It's $100, right?
All right.
The
That's
30-day
5 of those
prices.
$20 bills, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you give them 5
It,
this time.
yeah, right. So if they say yes after 30 days, I will call them and I'll tell them. Like I had a lady, literally no bullshit, calls me up. I did a bid 2 years ago, and she calls me and she goes, "Hey, we're ready." And I was like, and
We're not.
this was last month, and I'm like, "Oh." Your pricing is different. And she goes, like, how different? And I was like double. And she goes, really? And I was like, do you watch the news? And she goes, well, you know what? My husband said we couldn't do it then because, the price, but I'm going to do it now before it's double again.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we can do the install on next Monday. And she goes, do it. I was there next Monday. We installed it, and no bullshit. After I went over there and collected the check, drove off, she called me and she goes, "You wouldn't believe it, but some dude door knocked us to try to sell us gutters." And I was like, "Well, where is he going to put the gutters? Because you already have them fully wrapped around your house." So it was just like bizarre.
Crazy.
Yeah, so rushing to quote, don't do that. Make sure that
Right.
customers are present. If they're not present, then you're selling on price, and there's always somebody cheaper than you. They're not maybe as good a quality, but you didn't get the opportunity to sell that to the customer.
That's right. I show up every time and I give the customer. So we are still pen and paper, right? Obviously we have like CRM and
Love it.
all that good stuff, but
Yeah.
our presentation is all folder paper, all that fun stuff.
Do
Because
you do a
I
two-price
just think,
presentation?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you do a two-price presentation?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, we should talk about that one
We
day.
should, because I don't know what that means. I've heard it, but I don't really know what it is. So,
Yeah.
but
You're
I
gonna love
show up and I walk to the door with my gutter samples. If I get cut off, like if they're the type of person that's going to show up and tell me what to do and meet me at my car before I'm getting out of it, I'm like, all right, cool. And they walk around and they show me everything. I'm like, all right, cool. Um, can I maybe make some recommendations on how I would do it with my decade of experience? They're like, yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. Hey, before I do that, I've got this here, and this is how our appointment is going to go today. And I just take back the control, and they
100%.
almost immediately sit down. And so I literally have a paper. It's the front of my folder. I take it out, put it on the front of the folder, and I say, this is how One Way Exteriors expects the appointment to go today. We're going to sit down. We're going to go over and try and figure out what you really are after today.
You
And
wireframe them.
then we're going to do a walk around together. And then I'm going to walk around your house another time and take all my measurements and photos. And then I'm going to walk around a third time. And this one, you're going to think I'm just like pointing out all the flaws in your home. And that's exactly what I'm doing because I want to build a relationship through this. And after you give me millions of dollars, you're going to be looking at every little thing on your house. And people sometimes blame us for a flower being dead or this scratch on their house. And so I'm going to go over all of that with you so that we're on the same page. And they're like, oh, okay. Then we'll go over some different products and options and things like that. And then last, we'll go over payment options. Sound good? And it's all in writing right there for them. Just a 5-step thing. Boom, 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 boom. And they're like, okay, yes, sir. And it's in like, it's just there. And then the appointment goes exactly how we want it to.
Yeah.
I just did this with my sales reps today. We lost Frank. Yep. My sales reps were like, man, I'm struggling. Like these guys are meeting me at my car and like, this is what I want. This is what we do. This is what I need you to do. And it's like, okay, cool. Let's step back because we have the appointment or what today is going to look like. I forget exactly what we titled it, but expectations for today.
Yeah,
yes,
I love
exactly.
that. No, it's great. I mean, we and one of my favorite phrases, like when you said "sounds good," I always look at them and say "fair enough."
Yep.
And everybody loves that. They're like, "Yeah, fair enough."
Fair enough.
No, that's dude, it's key. So I want to know your process, Colin. Like, so when you get to a house, do you immediately try to gain access to the house to go sit down with
Yeah.
them and talk to them?
Yep.
Oh
So
wow.
like I will walk up, and one of my things is I fill my arms with my samples. I don't do the
Yeah,
sexy
you
one
make
bag.
them. Do you
Yeah.
take your shoe off at the door? Like you start taking a shoe off whenever you get there?
Yep. Yeah,
Hell
oh,
yeah.
like all of it, right? I'm ready to get
Yeah.
in, and then it's the expectations for this visit, and
Yeah.
then it's a client discovery, and I just start asking questions, right?
No, dude, I
Um,
freaking love it.
and it's
That's
and it's
awesome.
like we learn, and then we go outside together. We do a lap together. And I say, okay, cool. You can head back inside. You can start playing with some of my samples if you want to, but I'm gonna take a few more laps around your
Yeah.
house,
If you give them a
and
pamphlet, they're always going to open it up and start
that's
looking
right,
at it. Yeah.
exactly, right.
It's money. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Then we go
Um,
in and we go through all of our folder. So our folder has like 11 different pages that we go through. This is our company credentials, our state license, our insurance, like the nonprofits we give to, like all everything. Boom, 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 boom.
that's cool.
And they're like,
Oh, I
"Oh
like
wow,
that. The nonprofits you give to. That's killer.
right."
I like that.
That has
We're,
sold me so many jobs. Like
I
my
bet.
wife and I are huge on fighting human trafficking. So we
Yeah.
give to 3 different nonprofits, and they all fight human trafficking. And people
We,
like, I mean, I've had 30-minute cry sessions with people, and
welcome
like
back.
they just start sobbing. They're
Ugh.
my daughter's been missing or my grandkid's been missing, and
Oh,
we think they've been trafficked. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm getting chills. Like, think
yeah.
this just happened a week ago. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, scary
That's
stuff.
crazy.
So,
That's
anyways,
crazy.
but it matters. Like people want to know what you're doing with all this money you're making because they
Yeah.
just assume you're floating in cash. So,
We do a little different. We donate to my daughter's school, and we actually give them their class shirts. So
oh
they
yeah,
have a Thursday shirt. So on the back of their Thursday shirt is Texas Gutter Guys logo. So it's in every single house in our neighborhood, and then they
that's sweet.
always see me dropping my daughter off at school. And I think the shirts were like $2,000, right? And all the
Yeah,
teachers wear them, all the kids wear them,
Very
every
cool.
grade, kinder through fifth,
it's
and
brilliant.
they see me dropping my daughter off at school every day. I think we sold. We just did a roof actually for one of the guys that lets our daughter out of the truck, and then we did a $6,000 gutter job for one of my neighbors because he's like, "Man, I had a few bids. Yours was more expensive, but I see you every morning." And I
Right.
was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let's go."
Building trust.
That's it. That's
Absolutely.
right.
What is it? 10 touches, right? 10 touches.
It used to be 7, but now I hear everybody saying 10. 10
Yeah.
sounds about right.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so much, shit flooded at us every day.
That's right.
You want to move on the list?
Yeah. Ooh, this one.
Number 6, not presenting multiple options.
Hmm.
This is something we talk about all the time. We've went deep on this before.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons to present multiple options. It guarantees the sale. It guarantees the
Right.
sale because they're going to
You're
get
gonna sell something.
something, right? You got the cheap
Yeah.
guy, you give him the worst option. Good, better, best. Good, you never say bad, right? So good is the worst. Better, best. And you have
Yeah.
your Mercedes consumers that only want the best. They'll go for the
Yeah.
best. You'll get
That's right.
that. Most people will
Name
fall
brand.
in the middle. They don't want to get the worst. They want to get
Right.
something in the middle. But if
Yeah.
you give 3 options, you're going to have a very good shot at getting a sale because you know they have options. They have 3 ways to go with it. If you're just showing them one price, and so many guys do this, one option, one price, one product. This is it.
They're out.
Good chance you're going to get bounced. You're
That's
just
right.
not flexible enough for them. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have this vast uh, product list, right? You don't have the knowledge. Uh, we do it where we offer like gutter protection. We just partnered with a pressure washing company, so now we're doing, gutters don't come on houses in Texas, so a lot of people wait 6 months to a year when they move into their house, and then they get gutters, but you have all that mud that's splashed up for the year and the muck in the driveway
It's
and
a mess.
sidewalk. So we have a line item, and we make $50 on it, right? But our price is still $50 less than what they would sell it for if the customer called that pressure washer. So we're like, hey, look, $400. we're going to do a spick and span, make the whole house look pretty again, like you had gutters from day one. And it's just something that we do differently. And
Right.
we're all about differentiating ourselves from everybody else. My color chips are laser etched with all my shit on it,
Very neat. Good
and
idea.
nobody sees it. Nobody's, dude. I
Yeah,
went
I
to
don't
some
even
auction-
see it.
You can't see it. You can't see the.
He's got the
It's
blur.
going blurry.
I got you.
I'll
Just
post it.
bust your
I'll
balls.
post it on the page. I'll post
There
it on
you
the
go.
page. Differentiating yourself is so cool. They're expensive. I think they're 50 cents a piece to get a business card, but everybody I've handed it to, it's literally my color chips from Synox. And they go, "Oh, that's different." It's like, yeah, bet you're not going to throw that one away, right? Like you're going to do your annual
For the
throwaway.
material suppliers, that would be a very smart idea to customize these
So
for us
smart.
contractors and just get them out. We'll pay you. Just
Yeah.
give us do it on the cheap and ship us a big box of them. And hey, man, now we're showing your damn swatches. Wouldn't that? I mean,
Right.
do it for free at that point.
And not only that, but it says Synox on it, right? So it's
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
if I show them my business card, God bless this blur. If I show them my business card and it says Synox and I don't use Synox, I'm a real ass, right?
Yeah.
So it guarantees that house is going to get Synox. And I showed Rick Kofi, which is my sales rep, and he looked at me and he goes, "Man, I started this company with the owner of Synox back in the 70s. I was his, we had a gutter company together for Sears. And
Wow.
I've never even thought of that or seen anybody do that. And I wanted to keep it secret, but this whole podcast and gutter school, it's all about building
Give
everybody
away
up,
all the
bro.
good tips, man.
Yeah,
You
let's
know,
do it. Let's
get,
go.
you get back what you give.
That's right.
All right,
Yes.
so this is probably a good time for Kyle
multiple options.
for you to
Yeah,
explain.
multiple options.
Yeah, but it's probably a good time for
Okay.
Kyle to explain the two price option.
Oh,
right.
two price presentation.
Price presentation.
So-
Explain that.
Two price presentation is a close. So two price presentation is totally different. But what we do
Today's price, tomorrow's
with
price.
options. Hey guys, I have ADD, right? So I'm sorry that I brought this in and like really threw us all about. But I was making a point.
That was a great share.
Thanks. So basically, whenever we're presenting our quotes, we have options for pressure washing. We have options for pro gutter guard. We have options for 4-inch round pipe, 5-inch, 6-inch, what have you. And then we make the options recommended, so they're in the total bill. So I can show them the price, and it's $10,000, and that's my initial price. And that's what I tell them, and they go, "Oh," and I go, "Yeah, keep in mind that this has everything in it. This is our whole Texas Gutter Guys system, right? It's not just gutter, it's not just guard. It is our system, and it's a system that works. So if you do not want us to do the gutter guards, we can remove them. They can be added in the future. And when we do add the gutter guards in the future, we will clean, seal, and realign the gutters." And they go, "Oh," and I go, "Yeah." So they go, "Can you take that off?" Sure. Click. $4,000 off. Now it's a $6,000 job. That's better, right? They go, "Well," it's like, "You're telling me that 6,000 isn't better than 10,000?" Well, yeah, no, it is. All right, cool. So we're on the same page. It's a free discount.
Yeah.
If you put options in, you recommend them, and you make it the highest price that you possibly can, you can give them a discount that doesn't cost you money.
The critical element to Kyle's strategy is you have to be there present to explain this.
Right.
Never pull this off remotely. Otherwise, you're just going to look at everybody just scans to the bottom, looks at the total price. They don't even understand all your line items, and you're out. You have to be there, and you have to be able to go back and forth and work the deal on site. Otherwise, those options don't play out the way you want.
Another thing that's really important is the way that Kyle says it. He doesn't come off like a jerk, right?
He whips that smile out at the end of it.
Exactly. He whips that smile out, right? But I mean, he could have said, "That's better, right?" Like that just comes off more jerk, right? Is that better for you?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
that's not going to work.
Broke dick.
Yeah, right. Like that ain't gonna work. Your tonality really, really matters when it comes to this.
Oh,
So
100%.
big time.
Yeah, like I
And
said,
any sharp angle closes at the end, right? It's assumed that we have a deal now, right?
yeah,
This is what we're doing.
yeah.
Yep.
You,
Right.
we're on the same page. Let's get this
Right.
done.
So Kyle, so we started doing this year, and it's been like the best thing that I could have done. Our price anchor. I bring copper into every single
Hell yeah,
demo,
hell
and
yeah.
I quote it on every single job. I
Do
mean,
you
we
white glove
sell.
the copper?
What's that?
Are you white gloving it?
Nope. Because I want it to be shown that
Okay.
like this will happen to it, and like it can
Turns.
look
Yeah.
really cool. And some people think that old copper is equates to like old money, and it's really cool, right? So
Most people like patinaed copper more than they like I love the way copper looks when it's fresh, bro.
me too. Me
It's
too. That's how I do it.
it's
That's how I would
sexy,
seal it in
bro.
my place. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
uh,
blingy, right? It's so
Yeah.
blingy, it just
I
draws you in.
It's
Like
kind of
but
like
oh, I know.
buying a Ferrari and then taking the wheels off and just putting it in your front yard because you
yeah,
can.
that's right. Exactly. Yep. But doing that has given us such a good price anchor. All right. So
Yeah.
it's like instead of 10 grand, now it's 40.
Yeah.
And they're like, holy crap, I don't want to do that.
Right,
But
right.
then
Give me the
the,
aluminum.
the free discount is everything in the kitchen sink that's not copper. And it's like,
Yeah.
all right, now it's 10 grand. And they're like, oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Because if you guys haven't read the book Predictably Irrational,
No,
freaking amazing book. Like you both should read it if you have not read it.
I've never read a sales book.
It's
really.
not a sales book. It's a psychology book, but
Oh, okay.
it's amazing. So when you anchor somebody, like when I'm anchoring them at that 40K, they might
Mhm.
already be anchored by the $1,500 gutter guy, right?
Yeah.
But when I show them that 40K copper, they're like, oh, $1,500 guy did not show me that.
So
Like,
I want to point something out that a lot of people might not be catching. And Frank, check this out.
Hmm.
You said it earlier. People buy middle of the road, right? They're not
Yeah.
going to go with the expensive product. They're not going to
Most
go with the
people.
cheap product. They're going to go with the middle of the road, right?
Right.
What Colin does here and what we do here is we presented the most expensive option. They've already had the cheap option. And then you showed them, hey, I can be middle of the road.
that's right.
100%.
Well,
Exactly.
and
Yep.
what
And they
you
feel like
giving
they
them
get to
that,
choose. You're not shoving it one option down their
yeah.
throat. They're
right.
choosing
And
it.
the beautiful thing is too is just like Frank said, some people do buy that expensive option.
They do.
Slam dunk, bro. You're
Right.
now the expensive option.
That's
The only
right.
thing we're not going to be is the cheap guy
Yep.
because nobody wants to buy from the cheap guy.
That's right.
The
This
builder.
just worked. We're doing a job Monday and Tuesday. It's a big one. It's like 350 feet with 12 or 13 miters on it, like absolute cut up girl. But with gutter guards, everything, it's $17,000.
Beautiful.
And but we presented everything,
That sounds
and
like a
she
Ford
was like,
fucking Ranger, buddy.
"That's right, that's right. Maybe a Raptor, Like, let's go."
Hell yeah, that's badass, dude. And guys, whenever y'all are listening to us talk to, some things are going to work good for you, some things aren't going to work. And all this is to help everybody figure out what works best for them and their market and try it out, man. You'd be really surprised.
Yeah, you don't have to actualize all of these steps at once. You could just slowly add on one at a time, master these techniques, and then build and grow on them. And then you're going to be a powerhouse. But
So,
don't be overwhelmed by all these steps. One by one, but surely add them and master them, and
For sure.
you'll be a beast. Let's move a little quicker. We got a couple more. We're on number 7. Avoiding the budget conversation. Some people cannot afford what you sell. If you don't know that before you go in, you're going to have a lot of trouble when you go to close. A lot of guys don't offer financing yet. Some parts of the country are heavy on financing. People finance everything. You have to have that option in your back pocket, and you have to talk about that on the front side if you're masterful with financing, because a lot of these programs you're paying for. You're paying the points. So you have to adjust your price accordingly to swallow that nut. So you got to
right.
really think about that and know it. And, the financing companies are very intelligent. They train you when you sign on. They put you through a course if they're a high polish financial company. They want to teach you how to sell. So those 0% options, you guys are paying the points. So, it's a question you should do during your warm up. So how are you looking to pay for this? What kind of budget do you have? Are you looking to finance this, or are you planning on paying in cash? What's your strategy on how you're going to get this system, whether it's me or, don't say that, but the idea is whoever you choose, when you choose, I want to know now, how are you going to pay for this?
Could you stroke a check for it?
Yeah, a lot of guys have to walk away if they don't offer financing, and they don't find that out until the homeowner tells them they're looking to finance it. When they're there, they already came out, and they don't offer it, and they lose. They have to walk.
That's my least favorite word, finance. Ugh, it
Terrible.
hurts. You've
Yeah.
said it so many times, and it's just like nails on a chalkboard. Monthly investments, brother. Monthly investments. This is
Well,
an investment.
we're talking behind the scenes here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Do you
can I
want to pay
name?
for this monthly, or you want to pay for this upfront?
Yeah, exactly. And I found a gem, bro. There's a company here in Austin that is nationwide, and it's a yearly fee. It's $2,000 a year. There is no points that you pay
Oh, I
per
like that.
transaction. It's 2K. They have 0% options. They're a brokerage.
Interesting.
And a lot of my customers will have 18 different banks throwing them like, 3% for 18 months or 24 months or 64 months or 84 months or whatever it is. And then they have another option that's either 12, 18, or 21 months, 0% credit card through Wells Fargo.
Sick.
And it
It's done
costs
through
me nothing.
Is it done through an app that you can operate in the home,
Yep.
and decisions made in like 5-10 minutes? Like it's done quickly, or
Yep. And the other
Who is
beautiful
this?
thing is too, it's called Hearth, Hearth.
Hearth? Yeah, Hearth. I've
Yeah.
heard of them. Oh, they're in
Yeah.
Austin. They're headquartered in
They're based
Austin.
out of Austin, yeah. So it's 2K a year annual, right? And I tried it out, and I was just like, I don't know, man. I'm not really doing a whole lot of financing. And then as soon as I did it, we actually have a button on our website, and it's like, and we have it as financing on our website, and
Yep.
because reading is a lot softer than saying financing, but whenever we go to the very end of our pricing, I always say, hey guys, we do offer, all the types of payments. And, if you accept American Express, make sure you tell your customers not every company can accept American Express. So if you can, that means you're a trusted business. So I always tell them we accept all, major credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express. We also accept all types of cash, green or coins, whatever, checks. And then we also have monthly investment options if
You
you
take
wanted to pursue
dineros
those.
too?
Dude, if it pays for shit, I take it, bro.
Just to put it into perspective, one job, if it's $2,000 for the year, and you get a
Yeah,
$50,000 sale. I mean, I have tickets like that. If you're doing copper, or you're doing some
yeah.
bigger jobs, one
It's
job could pay for
painful.
that. I mean, you some of these programs, you're paying like 7% for somebody to take a 0%
Oh, it's
premium.
more than that, bro.
It's like
It's
11. Yeah,
13,
yeah.
14, 15, 20%.
Right.
I was
Yep.
with
You lose your
another one
shirt.
that had me doing continued education. And I'm like, dude, I know how to do this. I don't need you to tell me how to do my job. Hearth, literally, you said it and forget it. It's an app. It's awesome. And what I like about it too is it goes, hi, my name is, you type your name in. Then the next line item comes down. It says, what do you make annually? And you can put in $84,000 a year. Do you rent, buy, or own, or whatever?
So
And
it's,
you put
it's,
that
it's
in.
declared income. They're not even checking.
Well,
Have-
so
They
Some of them
will.
too will do how many, they add all the incomes in that household too. And they'll
yes,
use
and
that.
so that's the beautiful thing about this is they will do a soft credit pool before where it doesn't even affect your credit because it's just declared.
Right.
And then and then it'll say, what do you think your credit score is? 500, 600, 700, so on. And then it goes, you've been pre-approved for, 18 grand. And then as soon as you put your info in, I mean, everybody that I've had, it's like, you've been pre-approved for $40,000.
Amazing.
And I've
That's
called my
awesome.
customers because
That's a
when
gem.
I implement something new salesperson, new installers, new program, new CRM, hey guys, how seamless was this?
Yeah.
And they go, oh no, it worked great. Awesome. I just want to make sure it's something that we've implemented recently, and I wanted to make sure that it checked all your boxes.
For you
And
guys at home, if you do implement financing, which I highly recommend, make sure you take the time with your salespeople to train them to make sure that they can do a full flex on what all the options are, because they could sell something and come home with their chest puffed up and all proud of themselves, and they just buried you on a job.
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
Hearth sounds like it's
Yeah.
a lock. That sounds awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that does
dope.
sound good. I just
The
had
other thing
one.
is,
Go for
go
it.
ahead. No, please ask.
I was just going to talk about another company. So keep going.
Oh, so the other thing is to make sure that whenever you are say you're doing the monthly options in front of your customers, make sure that you're finding something that works good for them as well. And the way that I explain it is, guys, I live around here. I'm your neighbor. I live in X neighborhood, and I don't want you to see me at HEB, which is our grocery store here, best grocery store in the world, by the way. We're walking around steak and lobster tail and all the good stuff in my cart. It's full to the brim. Kids are throwing shit in. I'm not counting it. And you have, just what you can afford because you stretched yourself. I just want to make sure that we have put you on the right plan that you
Very
can
nice.
comfortably afford, right? Like something that you're not even going to miss from your bank account.
Right.
I like that.
That's good. That's good.
All right, moving on. Number 8, poor follow up. Common sense, but so lacking. So many guys just run and gun, give a price, never call, never follow up. They're if they want it, they'll call me. You're leaving so much money on the table. So there's so many ways to do it. I do recommend a personal phone call, but you should also be setting up your CRMs to automatically follow up right behind your quotes as well. Something that is not a canned script that maybe the CRM already has programmed. You want to write it in a way that it's you. It reads like it's you actually sending that email, and they work. They help every little bit, all these touches, But definitely follow up with a phone call and do it. I don't do it next day. I wait one day. I put a day in between it, and then I hammer them. And I want to get them on the phone. I want to speak to them. That's my strategy. What are you guys doing?
Oh man, this one's tough for me, bro. Because at one point, like I want them to know that I want their job, but at the other point is I want them to know that I'll be okay without their job. You know what I mean? So it's
I get it.
it's it's tough, bro. My system's automated. I have a 2-day and a 7-day. And I tell my customers, hey guys, I'm not gonna bother you. I'm not gonna call you. We're gonna soft touch 2 days just to let you know. God bless you.
Yes, you
Oh,
can.
thank you.
Dude, you know how aggressive that camera just flipped, bro?
Oh, no.
God.
I didn't.
Camera.
I got to figure out how to shut that off. It's tripping me out.
You scared the camera, dude. That thing was jumped off the desk.
The camera sneezed too, bro. Dust flew out of the lens.
The camera covered itself.
But yeah, so it's man, that's a tough one, bro. I mean, I
Well,
think
let
it's
me, let me add to this. I have
okay,
a staffer in house. He does a few things. He does a lot of like marketing follow up campaigns, that sort of thing. One of the things he does at 30 days is contact the customer that has not approved a quotation, and he offers savings. Is there some way I could potentially save you some money on that quotation? Can we open it up and revisit it? Then his job is to come back to the salesperson. So he'll come to me. We have a meeting every Thursday. He brings a list in. If he doesn't call me during the workday, at least on Thursdays, he has a list of whoever he touched. And he said, he brings my quotations in and says, here's what you priced. Here's the guy's name. What can you do? Sometimes I could do a lot. Sometimes I'm willing to do a little. Other times I'm like, nothing. That's my price. But at
Yeah.
least I get another look at it, right? So if my margins are, 70%, I'll chop 5% off. If I give the guy a savings and he feels good about it and that's what motivates him, I'll take that money versus not getting it at all. But it takes somebody to make the phone calls, make the touch, warm them up, have that customer service conversation. And we do recapture a lot of work that at 30 plus days kind of escapes most people. I
what do you
like
think
that
your
we added.
closing on that is?
Uh, he tracks it. I don't even know the number right now. We talked about it even earlier today. We meet on Thursdays. Actually, right around 30% on those.
Bro, hell yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
We do something. Brittany does that.
I mean, but I chip,
Yeah, I
so.
love it.
Right.
But you
It's
know
a,
what?
so
I'm just like you. Like my price is my price. I don't
Yeah,
move much, but I'll move enough to motivate somebody. If they're saving
It-
$600, $800
bro.
on a big
All
ticket,
it
like
is
800
sometimes is
bucks.
somebody wants to win.
They
that's it.
always want to win. That's
That's all it
another
is.
conversation.
I've
That's it.
I've I've literally negotiated with a customer and just I was like, I'm this price. I think it was like a $15,000 job, right? And it was like 15,227 or whatever the hell the number was. And the guy's like, you got to do better than that. And I was like, well, give me a number. Like, just what would you pay for it? And he goes, I don't know. You got to give me a price. Can't put a price on your stuff. And we did this for an hour. And finally, I go, 15, 17. He goes, looks good to me. Let's go. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like $10? I was like,
Unbelievable.
I would have given you $100 off to end this conversation an hour ago.
I have a great one from Monday. This was my third visit to this person's house. They had hired us. I came out and did an initial assessment. They have some water in the basement. I drilled it down to drainage. They hired us for my camera crew to come in. They inspected. They found some problems on that side of the house. It's a footing drain problem. Deep window wells, concrete bases to the window wells, so like 9 feet deep. We'd have to saw cut the floors, get inside the footing drain, flush them out, restore all of that. I deal with the wife. You guys see me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal with the wife. She goes, I have to tell you, you're very expensive. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. She's like, I don't mean that in a
Oh,
good
you
way.
froze, bro. You froze.
Can you see me?
I think
Yeah,
it's
we can. I think it's
Camera
frozen.
keeps
Is it frozen on your end?
dropping. Might be overheating or something. Huh?
Bro, you called us and told us we need to have good
Sees ya.
internet.
yeah. You've been riding
Here
us.
tonight.
I just
Do as I
upgraded
say,
mine
don't
to
do as I
5G.
do.
Right.
So you could hear me but can't see me?
We
Yep.
can hear you. Yes, sir.
Camera's popping on. All right. So anyway, so she just gave me the business, trying to flex on me about how my price was too high or my pricing is high in general. I give a price for the repairs. She's like, this is over my head. I don't understand it. You're going to have to meet with my husband. So we scheduled that visit for Monday. I walked the job with the guy. I explain everything. He understands all the technical stuff. He says, well, what was your price? So he already knew he wanted the job done. That's a buying sign right there. What was your price? And I said, you tell me. He's like, well, it was $7,500. I said, can't get internet service in your yard. $7,500. He's like, can you do it for seven even? I said, let me get back to the office. I'll get into Wi-Fi. I'll review but I already dealt with your wife, and your wife beat me up on price, and you got a pit bull inside that house. I said, she's tough. I already gave you my price, right? So I don't know if I have room, but let me see what I can do. I go back to the office. What do you think my price was?
$6,200.
69.90. So he undercut himself by $500. He named his price at 7,000. I'm $10 less than what he wanted. So I'm laughing at myself. I resend the quote as was to his wife because she's the only contact information we have. He refused to give me his email on site. I sent it to her. I said, I had a great conversation with your husband an hour ago. He should find this number satisfactory. Please pass it along. Instead of calling me the next day, he calls my office and says, this is supposed to be discounted by $500. And my office called me. I said, no. We never talked about a $500 discount. He named his price. He said he wanted 7,000. That's where we are. That's where we're at. So that was it. It died there, but he just wanted a pound of flesh. He just wanted to
Yeah.
chip
He
into
wanted to
that
win.
number, to go in and tell his wife, hey, honey, look what I did. And he blew it by not being prepared. But it's very common, right? They want to
Yeah.
cut in.
You know what one of my favorites is with gutter, like to help them get that discount is, we can just do a chop and drop for you. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, we can show up and we can run all the gutters and give you the hangers and the end caps and the outlets. And
Yeah,
I mean,
do
I
it
could even sell you
yourself.
downspouts if you want, but And I literally did this on a guy. A quote, it was like two 26-foot runs for, and we were with wedges, and we were like $1,600 or something. And our minimum is 1,500 to show up. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to pay more than $900. And I go, okay, so what's the game plan? So this is all coming from follow up. I don't go on every estimate. And Kyle, you definitely should do this because I think you could crush. But I do what are called owner follow ups 3 days after. And hey, I don't get to meet every customer anymore. Our business is it's growing pretty rapidly, and I just don't have time to meet everyone anymore. But I try and carve out 30 minutes every day to go through and call everyone I haven't met. And, so I just want to check in and see how XYZ sales rep was with you, or project consultant, right? And how your phone interactions were when you called the office, and blah, 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 blah. And what it does is they love us. But anyways, this guy was like, yeah, you guys are awesome. Like, hands down, one of the most professional companies I've dealt with, like, amazing on all fronts. He goes, I just don't want to spend more than $900. I was like, so what's the game plan then? He's like, I'll probably just like piece it together from Home Depot. And I was like, we're literally right next door next week doing your neighbor's job. Why don't we just run the gutter out for you? Well, how much would that be? I was like, let me work it up.
Look, $900.
I'm like, I was like $500. And he's like, that's it? Okay, yeah, let's do it. I was like, shoot, man, it should have been 600, 800, whatever. But,
should have been $900.
Yeah. I mean, that was like,
should have been what he expected to pay for it.
that was $11 a foot for chop and drop.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
$11 a foot to chop and drop.
Any size.
Right? So it's like, there you go, man. Have at it. Right? So he's ecstatic.
I love that.
So
I love that. No warranty.
Yeah, no warranty, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I use that all the time. Like, man, can you do any better? I tell you what, Frank, it sounds like you're just looking for a really good deal. And
I do want to tell everybody that y'all need to be really careful with this, because it can come across real shitty to some people.
Yes.
You gotta say like, hey man, like I would love to give you that price, but my installers are so expensive because of their knowledge and expertise. If you would like, we could give you a better price just to basically run the gutter out. We'll measure everything and get everything specifically ready to go, and then you just do your install, and we can give you a much lower price because I can remove the labor from it. Not just like, oh, you want to just do it yourself then? I'll just cut the gutters and leave it here. You got to be careful with it.
For sure. Yep. But it works. It's a good takeaway. That. It's got a takeaway sale, but also gives them that opportunity.
And you still get to make money on a, it's probably an LSA call too, so it costs $40, $50, $100.
Of course, yeah, it's always that way, right?
Yeah, yep. So at least you get to make some small jobs lead to big jobs, man. That's what Brittany always says.
Sometimes it's a 1-2 punch. You can't do the knockout swinging.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I love your rehash, Frank. The rehash, dude, that's killer. I love that. Brittany's doing it in an email, but I like what y'all are doing. That's cool.
Yeah. It's someone has to be organized and diligent. He's got to actually do it, right?
Yeah.
I've seen bigger operations that I've studied where they have 50 people in the office. They have 2 people that rehash all day. That's all they do is rehash, nothing else. And it's a critical part. It's every little bit counts, every little percentage, right? You don't want to just let everything slip through the cracks. Again, if you're running and gunning and you're like, well, I can't afford to grow and scale and bring in office staff. Well, when you do, you always got to put the horse before the carriage, right? You got to be prepped or the carriage won't run. So you got to take that leap, put the right people in places, especially if you have high volume of leads. If you're running a lot of leads and there's a lot of opportunity and because of that, a lot of opportunity loss, get back at the losses. Like Kyle says, it's called rehashing. Rehash them and win some of those back. And that'll pay for that person that's doing all the rehash.
Who rehashes every week? That company you see on TV all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Of course.
They rehash every week. And
they drop their prices.
It's something simple like a text message. And they don't always drop the price to cost.
It's happening all around us. And when you guys, if you like, I have Sirius XM. Let's say Sirius XM, you cancel. they don't let you go. They'll drop that.
No,
They'll shave that price down by 80%. They will.
We'll
And
give $10 for
it's
the
called
year.
rehashing. It's the same thing. And that
Yeah.
corporation understands the value of that. They'd rather take some of your money than zero.
That's it.
Exactly.
Sure.
Car dealerships will call you after you walked on a truck. Hey, this truck's still here. My boss said I could take $1,000 off if you come out today and just come look at it again.
Yep. We have Mercedes Sprinter vans. The dealer I buy from, he uses the guise of, hey man, I just want to let you know you got some recalls on the van that you have. He just wants to get me on the phone so we could have a conversation about the freaking recalls that I know are free, so that he could say, well, what's going on at work? You have any plans for anything new? Think about me. Same idea, right? Just get a
Right.
reason,
That's
have a
cool.
reason to get in there and call. He'll call me
Good.
10
Yeah.
times until I pick the phone up. I know why he's calling. And then it's about these recalls. I'm like, dude, I know about the recalls. The van runs too much. I can't get it in. We're making money with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
That's great.
let's move on. We got two more.
Yep. This
Number
just says,
9. Go for it.
Not reading buying signals.
Yes.
Shoot.
Yes. Critical.
Shoot.
This is a learned skill. It takes time. You have to be a seasoned sales guy. You got to get a lot of no's. You got to, first of all, I think first and foremost, get comfortable in your skin. When you're a nervous salesman, you're not comfortable enough to be able to read the other person. You're focused on yourself. Am I fidgeting too much? Am I making eye contact? How does my shirt look? Am I saying the right things? You're so hyper focused on you, you can't lay back in the cut and read the homeowner and watch their signs. And in this particular Chat GPT, spit out that we're reading, there's one of their suggestions or one of their examples is, if the homeowner says, how soon can you start? That's a buy sign, right? That's not them just asking a million questions and that's part of their decision making. They're interested. They need it done. Answer that wisely as soon as possible. Maybe you
Can
can't
you
get
take
there.
credit cards?
Yeah, well, there's so many buy signs, but more of it to me is body language, eyes, facial expressions.
Somebody that's opened up, not closed off.
Okay, and then that brings us to the last one. And what do you do when you see the buy signs? You got to go in for the kill. And so
That's right.
it's number 10, not asking for the close, not asking for the sale, not closing. You got to ask for it. Worst they're going to say is no, but you could say,
Don't be the guy. Well, give us a call. We're going to be in business next week still, so just give us a call.
think about it.
Yeah, you should think about this. This is a big decision. I've had customers tell me it's like, well, we got to pray about it, and I'm like, great guys, I'm a godly man. Let's pray together. Well, no, we like to pray in private. Oh, I understand. That's fine, but he's my God too. Let's pray. And they'll look at me and they go, oh, okay. And we'll pray about it, And they go, well, he's not going to get back to us right away. And I said, he never does. But I'm not telling them that they have to make the decision while I'm there. I do a soft close. I do a 3-day close. And I swear my closing jumped 20% when I did this. Just
all right,
giving
let's hear it.
$100 off.
Let's hear about it.
The very last line item, I use Jobber. So the very last line item in Jobber is the immediate schedule incentive. And I wanted to word it in a very aggressive way so that we could literally we can get that aggression out and then I can soften it. And in the description, it says, this is not what it sounds like. This is a thank you. It's $100 off for keeping our installers working and keeping us busy. And we tell them it's for 3 days, 3 business days. So if it's Friday, it's good till Wednesday. And I've had people calling me on a Monday for a $20,000 gutter and fascia job. Hey, Kyle, I know it's Monday and you said this was the 3rd day, but do I still get the $100 off? Fuck. If you would have called me and said,
send some
can
of
I
those
get
customers
$500 off? It's like, sure.
Of course.
Yeah. So I was like, let me look. And I was like, yeah, you're still in the window, or it can work like it's the following day. It's like, I just missed that $100 off, didn't I? And it's like, you know what?
I'll give it to you.
Was Friday a holiday? We took a vacation last Friday, so we weren't in business that day. And they're like, Really? Thank you so much. And you just give it to him. I mean, I have it on there. I mean, I think I gave that lady from 2 years ago the $100 off. Still, it's like, here you go.
Well, it's motivation for a fast decision, whether it's a
Right.
hundred or
It's
whatever it is.
it's a soft close. It's asking for the sale. And I've had people literally walk up to me and they go, "It's $100 off. What's your deposit?" And I go, "It's $100." They go, "Here," and they just hand it to me. Most people will close themselves. But you got to look for the body language. You got to say the right things at the right time. Don't say something stupid. Um, you know, just follow their cues. They will tell
Right.
you what to say.
That's
Yep.
gold. Did you just
100%.
say your deposit is $100?
Yeah,
I love
It
that.
is.
yeah, it's $100.
You're, you're
I'm
wild.
a half down guy, but I love that idea.
All right, so here's my kill for most people are half down or 30% down or whatever draws. Hey guys, at Texas Gutter Guys, I don't need your money to buy material like Joe Dirt in the gutter truck. We can buy our own material. I'm a consumer as well, so whenever I had somebody come out to do my AstroTurf, I had to give them $2,000, $3,000 down, and the day of install, I'm a nervous wreck, and I'm wondering if that installer is actually going to show up with my turf, or did I just get had like the hundreds of thousands of people that have gotten had, and they called me and they said, Kyle, we're going to have to reschedule. We had something go up. And I was like, here we go. Here we go. They're not ever going to show up. And, 2 days later, they did show up. They did the turf, but it made me so uncomfortable and gave me so much stress. I didn't want to give that to my customers because at the end of the day, I know where you live, but you don't know where I live. So we only require $100 down. And, I'm not the cheap guy in Austin, but most people end up going with us because of the fact that we don't take a deposit. There's no risk. There's no gamble. It's not just my name on the line. It's literally it's $100.
I'm anti that.
And you can be.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just have a different opinion on it. For me, I think now it's me taking that pound of flesh. For them to have an investment in the job with 50%, I find that they're locked in more. If it's $100, they could walk easier. You have an easier chance to lose them. And also I think they take the situation a lot more serious. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I never schedule somebody way out. We get to work pretty rapidly, but
Yeah.
and then honestly, then from a business perspective, cash flow. I want the cash here. I have bills to pay. I have trucks to fuel. I have payroll to make, and facility we rent. I mean, we have serious overhead here, and
Yeah.
I need to grease the skids. Like, you want me to get there with a smile on? It's all part of the job. I'm ordering materials and taking them into inventory and sending guys out. And I mean, that's my business model. I find that works best for me. Hats off to you. I mean, that's a hell of a deal for the homeowner, I think. How
It's
are your
just another
cancellations?
incentive. I've had 2 since I've been doing $100 deposit, and I call them back and give them their $100 back.
Awesome.
One guy just the other day approved our bid, and it was something. It was $1,000, right? I think it was 50 feet of gutter and a downspout, and it was $1,000 job. He paid his deposit, and then immediately he calls me and he goes, "I just paid the deposit, and then the roofer called me and told me he's doing my gutters for free." And I said,
That old trick.
I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll refund your $100." And he goes, "No, no, no. In fact, I'll give you another $100 if you come inspect the work that the gutter company did for the roofer." And his house is like 2 miles down the street. And I was like, "I tell you what, for the $100 that you gave me down, I will come over there and I will inspect the work that they did with my drones, 2-story house." So I fly the drone around, and they put the drip edge on the inside of the gutter on the first story, but not the second story because they thought nobody would ever see that.
Yeah.
And then they didn't put a diverter in. The hangers on the first story are like 3 feet apart, 2 feet apart. The top are like 5 feet apart. And I was like, "This is what I would have done differently. This is why." And then he goes, "Well, I will just pay you to do the work the right way then. So we
That's
still got
awesome.
him to do the gutters. And, he had somebody else install them. He goes, I just want them done right. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Good
So
job, Kyle. That's amazing.
it took an extra touch, but hey, small
That's
jobs
right.
lead to big jobs.
Amen.
It's true. So what do you guys have on the agenda for the holiday?
Parade,
Baseball.
man. We do
Yeah.
the parade. We have a blast. So
Very
Oh, yeah.
cool.
that and then chilling.
Yeah. Kyle,
We
what are
have
you
a
doing?
parade. We have a parade in the neighborhood. We're taking. Not everybody knows this, but Brittany, my wife, drives a pink Jeep named Barbie, and it's a lifted, built rock crawling Jeep with everything under the sun.
Sweet.
We're taking it to the parade. I'm taking my my trimmer in it. My neighborhood is one of the biggest master plan communities in the nation. It's 11,000 homes is what they're
Wow.
thinking now. They're actually about to make it its own city.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
our neighborhood is that big, and we've been
It's
there
like the
since.
Villages almost of
Yeah,
Florida.
it's Santa Rita Ranch, man. It's crazy big, and we have like resort style pools with like no bullshit water park slides in our
Yep.
neighborhood.
My father's in
Um,
Sandoval in Cape Coral, Florida. Same
yeah,
idea.
and
Massive.
so we're doing that, and then we're going to the Round Rock Express, which is the farm team for the Rangers, and they do a kick-ass fireworks show.
Nice.
So we're going there with a buddy of mine who is actually another one of those sales guru guys, but in the HVAC world, and his girl. So we're gonna go there and have a good time.
Very
Nice.
cool.
What about you,
Heck
Frank?
yeah.
What are you doing, brother?
Tomorrow we're gonna beach it. We're gonna get down there early. We with some friends and kids. George's family's joined it too. Powwow, starting early and grill and hang out and let the kids all chill. See where that leads us. I belong to a club with pools. I'll probably wind up over there. And then Saturday, I'm going to the Mets Yankees game with my brother.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So mixing it up, a little bit of
Yeah.
everything.
Hell
Right.
yeah. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Good deal. I think Sunday we're gonna go to Domo, which is an off-road park. We're gonna go run the Razor out there.
Nice.
And it's been raining here like crazy, man. All day yesterday, all day today. It's supposed to rain like crazy tomorrow. We got rained out. Roofers got rained out. So
We just got
installs
them
have
done.
stopped.
Yeah. It's
Until
all right,
next
though. You
week.
need that
So,
rain.
yeah, so we're gonna go play in the mud, man. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna
Well,
get
make sure
dirty.
you're posting up photos and videos. I'm always looking to
Yep.
live vicariously through you and all of your various toys.
He who dies with the most toys wins, right?
It's crazy that you have these toys living in the biggest subdivision in the states, but
Bro, would you rather drive a golf cart that goes 12 or a Razor that goes 86 miles an hour?
Is that how
And
fast that thing is?
oh, dude, it's like 82, and it's a four-seater. The longer the name, the more expensive it is. It's a Polaris Razor Pro XP 1000 Ultimate.
Good Lord. Fun for
So
the
it's
whole
a
family.
turbocharged four-seater.
Very neat.
With 1,000 cc's. So, and our neighborhood's so big and it's not completely built. I think we're like 6,000 out of the 11,000 homes.
Make sure you buckle up.
Oh, 6-point harness, my guy.
I'm sure that thing.
Oh, yeah. And then my kids are in the back seat, dude. We go crazy in that thing. And what's crazy is when they're cutting the roads for the new roads, in like the new areas of the subdivision, it's like a 4 or 5 foot drop.
Oh, you rip it up right in the subdivision? You're
Oh yeah,
savage.
it's a golf cart community. It's just a high-powered golf cart, bro. And I took a buddy of mine that owns a liquor store out here, and we went for a cruise. And I said, "Oh, so how's it going?" And I just started talking to him, and he's like, "Bro, there's a cliff, and it's like a 5 foot drop." And I literally just go, "Oh, that?" And he's like, "What the hell, dude? That scared the shit out of me."
That's awesome.
Yeah, gotta have fun,
Videos.
man.
I want to see it.
All right,
Amazing.
I'll send some videos. It's in my warehouse right here.
I
It's
haven't seen it. I've seen it on your Facebook.
It's owned by Texas Gutter Guys, believe it or not.
It should be. Why
It's
not?
got logos on it.
I love it.
Let's go.
Awesome.
All right, boys. Let's wrap it. We'll reconvene next week. We'll see what we got cooking for Thursday next week, and slow down a little bit. Enjoy your weekend. Relax. Enjoy the family.
And on Monday, go sell something.
Yeah, man. Let's
Or
go.
on Saturday or Sunday. So
Thanks for joining us at home, guys. We'll catch you next week.